The waiter came in and brought you coffee during my song.
Exactly. So true.
There you go. Yeah. Play your horn, Bobby. Play your horn. Bob Mincer. I love Bob Mincer.
Yeah.
Plays good. Sweetly.
Yeah.
Can I tell the folks what they're listening to?
Hey, what? Wait a minute.
Can I tell the folks what they're listening to?
Yeah, but you might want to wait till after. Oh, you can.
It's hard to wait because I love what's happening there.
All right, go ahead.
This is a show I put together called The Jazz Professors. And we were hoping to sell it to KCT or somebody. When I said I wanted $25 for an episode, they said, "Oh, that's too much." I said, "Are you crazy?" I said, "These are some of the greatest guys in the world. Clayton Cameron on drums, Derek Oles on bass. You're about to see the pianist, Kei Akagi, on piano, and Bob Mincer, of course, on saxophone. There's nobody like him. He plays so beautiful."
Yeah, I know. You're playing beautifully.
And then the guy in pink. I don't care. I love it, man. It's beautiful. It's a song for my daughter. This is Robin Starr.
Okay.
And this is almost the first time we played the song.
Oh.
We jumped the sound and videos. But anyway, she was in the audience that day.
Yeah. Akagi can play. Yeah.
He can play. He's my boss over at UC Irvine where I teach.
Cool.
track is on the new record, but this recording.
Tell us in a minute.
Go ahead, baby. Play your horn.
Oh,
Yay for the band.
wow, that was really beautiful. Holy
Thank
moly.
you, Cathy.
Yeah, really, really beautiful. I'm curious. Well, I want to ask you a question, but first, I just want to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, my longtime friend. But I'm going to find out more about him today, actually, because we've never had a 2-hour conversation. Um, Dr. Bobby Rodriguez, and we met years and years and years ago. We were just talking about it when I was married to my first husband, which was a long time ago. And yeah, I mean, just reading through your bio, it just, I mean, I always felt this about you anyway, but reading through the bio, it just is very obvious that you are a person who makes things happen, you know.
Just
Sees,
like you, Cathy.
I know, we're very similar.
Just like you. Susie Hansen is another one. Just like us.
Yeah, yeah,
We keep moving.
yeah, yeah. It's an interesting point of view. We have to go a little deeper into that. I bet you were. I could kind of imagine you as a kid. You were probably uh, very charming. You know, fun, and always looking to do something and go forward.
Well,
Is that how you?
once I found the attractiveness in young girls, I just went crazy. And Our Lady of Lourdes Elementary School is where I went to school, and it was just a beautiful, interaction of boys and girls and young people, and you know, kissing out there on the side of the church, and holding hands, walking home with so and so, and doing, the innocence of youth, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I keep an eye on my grandkids now. I want watch out. So they think, of course, we're old and we don't know anything, but of course, we've lived through it, so we know everything. And my daughter has 3 children. That song, Robin Starr, was written for her um, shortly before that concert. And that concert is from
Oh,
2013.
at Alan
2013.
Goldman's house.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
yeah. The beautiful venue,
and it was
and
packed.
a beautiful person. And we had a great audience. And like I said, I wanted to create a show called Jazz It Up. And I presented 3 shows, one with Kenny Burrell's band, which of course I was part of that, and then the Jazz Leaders band. That was a group of 6 of us with Ricky Woodard and Billy Mitchell and Paul Krybick. We were all leaders, so I called it the Jazz Leaders. Ryan Cross was in there too, Bobby Matos. And then the third show we had was this one, which was the Jazz Professors. So this was, all professors from different schools, and we had a great turnout, a great performance. And these shows are recorded, they're edited, and they're sitting there waiting. Maybe posthumously, they'll present them someday, and my family will make some money. I don't know, but until then, it's straight ahead. We just do projects. We do things that are hopefully interesting, musically and personally. Uh, the concept of the Jazz It Up show was to talk to the musicians, find out the backstory of how everybody got to where they are today.
Oh,
And it was very interesting to hear the different stories and and to interact with them as human beings, not just strings on a bass or keys on a piano or a reed in your mouth.
Yeah.
But to talk to Bob Mincer, for example, and just to talk to him,
Hmm.
because the musicians don't get a chance to speak their minds, and they have a lot to say. I mean,
Yes, they do.
we're all people, and we just have opinions, and it's interesting. So when something comes out that controversial or strange, I just would change the subject and move somewhere else, and go with another conversation. So it was a great 3 shows, and we'll
That's
see you.
funny. That's funny all by itself. I don't
And,
think I've had too much controversial stuff on this show, because, and I think you are the number uh, 247.
wait a minute, Kathy. We're only 15 minutes in. We've got a long time. Let's see. Let's, let's see where this thing goes. Okay. And in my life, I'm ready to go anywhere. Not in terms of travel, because I'm very tired of that. I was very lucky to
Yeah.
travel a lot when I was younger, and be on the big stage when I was younger
Yeah.
in spandex. And I've done it, and I've done the Soul Trains and American Bandstand and the Midnight Hour and whatever else, Midnight Special, whatever it was. I've done television. I've done the 20,000 seat theaters, and I've been very fortunate to be able to know what that feels like, and to know
Yeah.
what it feels like coming back to an audience. Let's say, for example, in Atlanta or Fayetteville, and coming back the second or third year when the show has to be a bigger, more powerful production.
Yeah.
And these are experiences that I cherish, and I of course always bring them into the classroom. And some of those experiences, little did I little did I know, they're on YouTube, and they're with the Brothers Johnson band back in the late '70s, when I was just finishing up my first degree at
Huh.
Cal State Long Beach.
We'll have to watch a little bit of that.
You could, yeah, there's a little bit of it out there. So it's interesting what's out there, because people took pictures and films, I guess, whatever, and I nobody knew we would ever have a medium like YouTube, but there is nothing I have never found that I was looking for, whether it's a song, or a performance, or a group, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all out there, and
Hmm.
and so there's a lot of stuff out there that I've put on myself. Some stuff I didn't put on, but somebody else did.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, it's acceptable.
Yeah. 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 It's really amazing. Ralph Humphreys comes to mind.
Oh yeah,
He was in, was it Blood, Sweat, and Tears, or yeah, maybe Blood, Sweat, and Tears. So we watched a little of that. I mean, it's just
yeah.
it's life is pretty amazing, isn't it?
Well, the
You're
experiences.
aware, yeah, you're aware of this moment in time, and you have the memories, but every part of our lives, like you're describing, is real, and it's a section of our lives, and it happened, and it was full of experience.
Well, I like to call it the sex, drug, and rock and roll years. It was exciting. It moved fast. It was a lot of work, uh, always working for the
Yeah,
man, so to speak,
yeah,
because you're not working for yourself, because there's no real money in the pop area if you're a side man.
yeah,
You're always working for the main person. And of course, that happened to me when I was with Ray Charles, and of course, the Brothers Johnson. Quincy Jones sort of led me into that big time. And there's no money in it, any real money,
yeah,
but there's the experience and the knowledge that you have been there, you have done this, you are there standing with, Ray Charles, one of my biggest heroes of all time. When I used to hear him sing or do his thing on television, I was unbelievably immediately attracted to him,
yeah,
because his style, his freedom, his blues, his the way he just interacted with the music, it was thrilling.
Yeah.
Well, it was for me. It was not a good experience when I finally got into the, you know, the truck, the van, the band. It was it was a different kind of experience. But you know, being with the big boys, you're in the fast lane,
Yeah.
and you gotta hang on,
Yeah.
and you still have to practice, and you still gotta work your skills, and it's not easy for some people to maintain their focus on their music. They want to have too much fun,
Yeah.
and so it's a big deterrent a lot of times for growth, musical growth. And if you're not careful, you can easily lose yourself within the party, and
Yeah.
the party is nonstop.
Yeah.
Literally, it's nonstop. So you have to, you know, protect yourself at all times. It's no different than a boxing match, except the fun is the other boxer, and you got to watch out where the blows are coming from, and be make sure you can get to the next round, so to speak, the next level, the next place. Matter of fact, when I came off the road in 1981, I asked my wife. It was so crazy out there that I almost retired from music because there was so much polvo, dust, so many things happening that I said, let's have a baby. And so that little song we just played is Robin Starr. It's that baby.
Hmm.
And so she said, okay. And we had this little baby, and it's unbelievable how, if you're prepared for it, it slows you down. It brings you down to the ground. It grounds you, and from there, my life it changed, and I was still holding on to the old attitude of playing Latin gigs, of course, because I have to make money. So the Latin gigs is where it was in the '70s and all through the '80s,
Yeah.
and I just, but that was like, I knew I couldn't do that forever because it was silly.
Yeah.
And all of these, like clubs, for example, the club process is a learning experience and a growth experience, but you can't make a living in it. You
Yeah.
have to get in, feel around, learn, get out.
Yeah.
You got to get out sane, so you're
Yeah.
still in one piece with a happy attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, it's treacherous, and too many people are just looking for a party,
Yeah.
and the party, it has to stop when you're off the bandstand and go home and settle down. I tried my best, and I finally learned my lessons. It wasn't easy, but I learned the lessons of the road, and then I learned the lessons of the home. And
Yeah.
that, of course, is why so many musicians back in the day had no
Home.
stabilization,
Yeah.
because they never were home enough.
Yeah.
And then they're out there like adventurers, looking around to see what's happening, whether it be in the city they're in or the traveling or whatever. And it's very difficult to maintain some kind of consistent practice, appreciation, movement forward, positive uh, positive attitude.
Yeah.
So all those things at this age, I'm very happy I had. I'm very happy they're gone,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy to be still to be to still be alive.
And by the way, Alan Goldman is here, and he said, "I see you."
Oh,
He said, "I see you. Don't be too controversial." And
Alan's a good guy. He's a friend to a musician, because he is a musician, and certainly a working musician back in his early days.
he and I work together.
Yep, he's a great one and a wonderful guy. But enough about him. Let's talk about us.
Yeah, we will say that Alan has opened his music space to people a lot over the years. Every week, actually, he had a rehearsal band, of which Bobby has been a part of for a long time. And boy, there at the end, man, it was getting a little crazy, wasn't it? It was kind of like a club. It was like, who are and Alan was walking around going, who are these people? I don't even know these people.
Well, the last day we were together was March 10th.
Yeah, I think I was there.
I think you were there that night, and we had a whole bunch of young people there and
Yeah.
old people there, and people who are not there anymore, or not alive anymore.
Yes.
It's been
Yes.
so long. It's been a year,
Yeah.
and so we just started it. He started it as a rehearsal group way back some years ago, 5, 7, 8 years ago. I sort of stepped in about 3 years ago, and it's been a joy. It's been a joy to have the camaraderie, to be friendly. And I remember when I was a kid that I would once in a while end up like going to Chuck Flores's house, for example, and he had a band, and all these guys were like 2,000 years old, and they all looked old, and I was like 21, 7, something, like a baby, mustache, orale, what's up, trying to play the material and the repertoire, and these guys are, those old guys are me, and I see the young guys coming in trying to play, and I see them struggling, and now there's so much more input of music and style, rhythm, beat. I mean, it's just it's an amazing evolution of what's going on in music right now. I mean, the rap music per se, it really should be the rap beat, because the rap beat, I love it. I think it's fantastic,
Yeah.
but it's not music unless you're singing or something like that. But rapping is rhyming, but that's not the music part. But the
Uh-huh.
beat is good. I like the beat.
I do too. Have you ever heard um oh God, his name just totally went out of my head. He's a wonderful flute player and sax player. He's on the young side, but not too young. Anyway, he raps amazingly.
Oh, okay.
Cathy
Yep.
Buckingham.
Oh, Cathy. I know Cathy. Very good teacher too, by the way.
Yeah,
But
have you heard him rap too?
no, no,
Oh,
no, no,
he's great.
no. I try not to listen to white rappers.
Well, I don't know if he's exactly white, but he's something. Paul Krybick is here too, by the way.
Hey, Polly, good to see you, baby.
Hey,
I love
were you
Paul.
guys in the Ray Charles band together?
Oh, now you had to bring up a bad story. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, Paul. I auditioned for Ray Charles and got the gig. I refused the gig. Ray called me and said, "Hey, Bobby, can I come? What can I do to get you in the band? You sound real good, man. Can I get you in the band?" And I said, "No, Ray, I committed to something else, and I got to go do that." That was my Quincy Jones uh, time. So next time around, there was another audition, and I told Paul about that. I said, "Paul, Ray Charles is auditioning on so and so days at so and so place. Get yourself together. Here's a phone number. Call up and do the audition." I don't know if I did that audition or not, but he did, and he got the gig. And I'm not sure he's ever let me forget it. But he was there for quite a while. And
Yeah,
correct me, Paul, if I'm wrong, but you were there in the plane accident, right?
I
The
think he
plane
was
crash.
because I
Yeah,
interviewed him and he told me, I'm pretty sure he told me about a plane accident.
yeah, yes. Well, it wasn't easy with Ray, and it's unfortunate because it's unbelievable talent that has a little curve on it that is just not sweet as his persona is, on television. But
Yeah.
the 45 minutes to an hour on stage, listening to him sing after somebody would be taken off the stage because they were cursing at him because of all the other stuff off stage, it was magical. I mean, I can think of just standing there thinking, I'm here with a self proclaimed genius And he was. He had a sound in his ears that just still turns me around. I was listening to him yesterday, I think, on YouTube, and I just thought, wow, what an amazing musical spirit. And there'll never be another Ray. Ray's Ray's a unique soul. But Paul got on that gig, and
And
we're
he's
still
never
friends.
forgiven you.
Well, we're friends anyway. Paul's part of my Jazz It Up school show, and
Yeah.
he's a great entertainer, and he's a great person, and his wife, of course, Merle. We all love Merle,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's great. It's music is an amazing place to be, as long as you can figure out how to make money.
Yeah.
You've
Well,
got to
you've done a lot of work. I mean, okay, so you got into teaching. What
totally by accident. Totally by accident.
how when like how old were you? Did you realize okay, teaching is going to be
No,
that's going to be solid.
absolutely negative. No,
Really?
no. I never wanted to teach. Why? Because I was always a student. I was still learning. I was trying to get my craft together, and I figured, eventually I'm going to be a huge star. Uh, and I figured, well, it's just a matter of time. I just got to keep practicing. Well, I'm still practicing, looking for that estrella up there in the sky, and in the meantime, I've gathered all these skills: writing, composing, arranging. Uh, I love composing. Uh, I love that. And now, I don't do anything but my own music, which actually live, I don't do, I hardly have ever done anybody's music. They don't do mine. I don't do theirs.
Your music is great. I mean,
I,
when I've gone to Alan's house and hear your charts, and I'm like, who
oh,
wrote that? That is really great, and
thank you,
it's you.
Kathy. Thank you. Uh, I never wanted to teach. Uh, my wife, Yvonne, uh, she wrote some grants that we received from the Cultural Affairs City of Los Angeles. And we took our big band, the HMA Salsa Jazz Orchestra, on 4 years of school tours. And around these tours, we went to high schools with music programs. Hamilton High School, we went to LACSA, LA County High School for the Arts. And at that performance, I met a couple of people there. And so about 3 or 4, 5 months later, I get a phone call and say, the jazz guy is leaving, and the kids were talking about you. And I said, well, I'm at that point, I was still hoping to get a job with Elton John or somebody to make some real money. And I said, I don't know if I can commit to this because I might have to go. And he says, well, why don't you come in and talk to us and blah, blah, blah. So I went in, talked to him, and I said, well, you know, okay, I'll try it. So the program at the county high school, which was housed inside Cal State LA,
Hmm.
was in shambles.
Yeah.
The music, the library, there was a what was it? A tuba, a guitar, and a saxophone,
Oh,
and a violin. This one kid violin player, he was really good. I still think about him because he played great. And then we had to fertilize the ground by playing for the students, so then they would join the band. And finally, we got a band. We got a big band. We went to Monterey. We won the Monterey Student Jazz Festival and blah blah blah. It was very good. I did 10 years there, and I never left the state with anybody except myself. And actually, I didn't even know this, but my road career was already over. And I really didn't want to go on the road unless there was, big money in it. So I never went on the road again.
uh,
So I did 10 years there at Loxa. And then the kids got to me, they got heavy in terms of non interested or interesting. A couple of students, one of them in particular is Gerald Clayton.
hmm,
He was my student there at high school.
uh,
I gave Gerald, I think, his first professional job.
huh,
Taught him how to play Latin piano, and there was some other very talented students that came through there. But on the whole, I had to go because I thought maybe I would jump over and choke one of these students. And just I'm giving you the information from top of the mountain, and the student is like, "What the heck?" I figured, I know what I need to do. I need to go to college, teach the kids at college. They're interesting. They would be interested. They would pay attention. So I'm at a performance for Eddie Harris at the Union, and he had just passed away. So we were doing a memorial concert for him. And so the band right before my band was Kenny Burrell. I guess he had a quartet. I don't remember except Kenny. And when he was coming off the stage, I was walking on toward him, and I said, "Hello, Kenny. I'm Bobby Rodriguez." And he said to me, "Yeah, I know." "Really? You know who I am? Wow." And I said, "If there's anything I can do to help you in any way, let me know." He said, Kenny's very cerebral. He goes, "So let me get this right. You would like to teach at UCLA?" I said, "Sure, sure." I didn't know what I was saying. Sure, yeah, of course. No opportunity left, unspoken for. So he called me and he said, we got Oscar Bashir had just left the school.
Huh.
I got offered the job and I took it. I was there 17 years.
Oh,
Yeah, 17 years.
18.
wow.
Yeah, almost 18 years. Well, I live in Yucaipa. That's just outside Redlands, San
Yeah.
Bernardino, Redlands.
Yeah.
UCLA is on the Santa Monica West Coast,
Yeah.
so it's almost 100 miles.
Yeah.
So I
You
did it.
started living with Alan.
Well, almost. I used to do that in February, of course, when I played for the LA Jazz Society when we had our Black History Month jazz concerts.
Yeah.
But 18 years, and then I decided, you know what? I don't want to drive so much. I'm getting a little older.
Took 18 years to realize that.
Well, and the 2 beers I would drink after rehearsal, Palominos, with some of the older students, it was a joy. I met some really great kids there, really young, great people. And
Yeah.
So 18 years, and I decided I'm going to leave UCLA and I'm just going to stay at UC Irvine, because 3 years into my stay at UCLA, Charles Owens, who was the teacher at the jazz guy at UC Irvine, invited me to come out there and do a concert, perform a concert with his jazz band. Sure, it was a monsoon evening, tremendous rain,
Oh,
unbelievable weather. We played the concert. We finished the concert. Kayakagi had told me, "I'm not going to be able to make the concert. I'm so sorry." Well, a day before that, of the concert, I don't know, he communicated. He said, "Yes, I am going to make the concert." So he showed up. He heard me play. And after the show, he's walking out and I'm walking out. And I see him and I say, "Oh, by the way, if there's anything I could ever do to help you, let me know." He goes, "You interested in teaching trumpet here?" "Sure, of course." A summer went by. He called me. I was at Payless over here in downtown Yucaipa. And he said, "You want the job?" "Yes." "Okay, go do the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Come in and okay, you got it." So I started there in 2003.
so you were doing UCLA and?
Yes, I was doing both schools, which is
Okay.
very common for the bassists. I mean, Derek Oles, I think he's got 3 colleges that he teaches at.
Hmm.
It's not uncommon because it takes a certain mentality, first of all, to teach inside these established venues, these institutions.
Yeah.
You have to have the right attitude, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. Depends who the immediate boss is. They say the military is the highest form of politics, and then college institutions. So there's a lot of politics going on.
Yes, there is.
I always just kept my head down and did what I was supposed to do and teach
Yeah.
and leave. Well,
Yeah.
I started at UCI in 2004, let's say 3 or 4, I don't know what it is. Anyway, I've been there now 19, 17, 18 years, and through the COVID, and we're about to go back to real teaching, and all the kids are just dying to play live,
Yeah.
and that's my co-producer. And so here we go again. And through this whole process, these kids have been unbelievably uh, innovative. They've created videos of concert performances. Of course, we always had concerts, but they were live. So now, instead of having a live concert, we have a Zoom concert. And since we can't play together, then they have organized different ways, different apps and things to record themselves, and then another student puts the film together, and they're playing together in the windows of all of these in Zoom, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I myself I've had studios a lot of my life, and I love the process because you press a button and you record something and you hear something back, and oh man, how great that is.
Yeah.
So now I haven't had a live studio in my home for many years since we've lived out here. So that's got to be about 17 years, 18 years.
Uh-huh.
Okay, maybe. Anyway, so I'm finally putting together a studio because I've learned a certain program, which is, they're very similar, whether it be Pro Tools, Logic. I'm using
Yeah.
a program called Reaper,
Uh-huh.
and it's the same kind of graphic as Pro Tools, and you can do this and push it over there and grab that and put it over there, and
Yeah.
editing. They're all very similar. Matter of fact, there's my little microphone.
Yeah.
I've got my shield over here
Yeah.
because the house, when I recorded something, it sounded terrible because it was so non-absorbent.
Yeah.
So it was terrible. So I bought this, and I've done something. I'm actually fixing up a studio right now.
Oh, cool.
So, and I love it. I just did a commercial for my neighbor, and I produced it, wrote it, did everything on it, sang on it, and played trumpet on it. Don't tell anybody. It's like
It was what?
a mariachi,
Oh.
banda. So what I did is I recorded one track, normal in tune, and then I pulled my slide about 4 inches out, and then made that sound like you identify with. Oh man, things I do, it's unbelievable. Anyway, so I've been teaching for almost 20 years at 2 schools, and that's also a good thing because of the pension, and
Yeah.
slowly it builds up, it builds up,
Yeah.
and so when I retire, there'll be something there, and I'm obviously one of the very lucky ones. Bill Cunliffe, I can think of, is another one who teaches out at Fullerton, and he's the chair of the jazz department over there, a jazz program over there, along with like Bob Mincer and a lot of other guys, all the boys over at and women
USC.
over
Yeah.
at USC.
USC. Yeah.
Yeah, and Patrice, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yeah.
what a talent she is. Woof.
Yeah.
Childs, yeah, Billy Childs. So there's a lot of great musicians who are, and Barbara Morrison, she teaches at UCLA.
Uh-huh.
Uh, what a reservoir of world class talent that's in the neighborhood, and these kids are the beneficiaries of all of this talent if they would just stay awake long enough to absorb it.
Yeah. Students can be very interesting.
It's not easy. It's not easy because every class is a performance for
Yeah.
the teacher. You've got to
Yeah.
get out there and perform for them in some way to get them interested and hold their interest, just like you do at a concert.
Yeah, and I mean, it's easy when you have a one-on-one. You can get very empathetic with the student and understand what their point of view is to teach them from their point of view. But with a group, it's a whole different thing. You're right. It's kind of like performing. You have to be yourself and be so excited about what you're teaching, and then notice if they're clicking in, and if they are clicking in, kind of get that,
Motivate.
Yeah.
I had a teacher, this is the one thing about school that I never understood, because I never had a teacher that was of any worth to me. What I thought was, wow, I'm going to go see Mrs. So or Mr. So-and-so or Father so-and-so or whatever. Never had a teacher like that. When I went to school and I was in the process of the doctoral program, I met this teacher named Malcolm Cole. He was a 40-year lifer at UCLA, and I even tested out of one of the classes I was going to have with him, because I heard he was so picky, so wanted everything just right. I don't want to do just right. I just want to get in and get out, and that's it. But pay attention and learn something. This guy came in, so I had to take a class with him. He walks in and he goes, "Okay, today we're going to learn something about so-and-so, and we're going to have fun, and it's going to be great, and you're going to walk out smarter than you were before. Okay, let's go." I use that in every class. Walk out smarter than you were before. The process of education never stops.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning and I think, okay, what's my day like? First of all, the night before, what's my day like tomorrow? I'm organizing. Okay, what am I going to do tomorrow? How are we going to do whatever it is we're going to do? And now at my age, I got to think about, what am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? How am I going to prepare for whatever it is I got to do? Whatever it is you're into. And somewhere along the line, I was living back in my father's house in Whittier. Must have been 1973, 74, just out of the service. And I couldn't find a piece of music. And I was looking for this music, and I know I could see it in my head. It's got to be over there. Looked over there, couldn't find it. Looked over there, couldn't find it. Looked over there. Where the heck is this piece of music? Well, I don't think I ever found it. And at that moment, I said, I've got to get organized. I can't be just dropping this stuff around that I can't find. I've got to look for something. I've got to find it, and I've got to move on.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much been what was reinforced in school, because I hated school, first of all. I hated elementary school. I hated high school. I didn't go to the prom. The prom, get out of here. Who cares about that? Get away from me. I mean, that was like, no, thank you. And, I was student body president of my high school.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was student body president. Huh. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, except in the 8th grade, I won a speech contest as an 8th grader in grammar school. And I beat this big guy who was like big and football guy and sort of dark and handsome. And I whipped him. And I learned at that moment I could speak. And when I realized that, which also led me right into broadcasting. I don't know this. Do you know this about me?
No.
At 19 years old, I went to Career Academy. And that was a broadcasting school in Hollywood, on the corner of La Brea and Hollywood Boulevard, in one of the high rises there. And I took a course, $1,000 my mother paid, so I could learn how to broadcast. And the point was, you learn how to broadcast and you're on the radio, the jazz guys come to you. You don't have to go to them. Beg. Oh, can I play? Can I sit in? Yeah, kid, go. So I went to this 3-month process. I learned a lot of stuff about radio. I sent letters out, because that's what they make you do at the end of the of the program. I sent letters out, and I sent letters out to, at that time, KBCA, Saul Levine. I think Stephanie wasn't even born yet. She wasn't, if you know Stephanie, well,
Yeah.
she wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And I sent a letter in, and I got a phone call
Huh.
from Saul.
Oh, wow.
He was interested in me to be a broadcaster. Really, I was shocked
Huh.
because they all said, "Oh, you're going to start off in some little tiny radio station out by the animals, by the burrows, and then you'll slowly find your way into the city." And so this guy calls me, and of course, by the time I was 13, 12, 13, I was tuned into to KBCA, the jazz station,
Yeah.
and I knew it well. I knew all the disc jockeys' names. I knew all the guys. I listened to that's the only radio I heard. Well, that's not true. I listened to pop radio because I love pop music. I love the whole the thing. And so he invited me down. We talked. I can only imagine what I appeared to be to him. You know, this little boy. $5 an hour. I got the job to broadcast one night a week from midnight to 5 in the morning.
Oh, gosh.
I could broadcast for 2 hours, I think, playing records of my own choice. And then from 2 to 5, I had to play tapes, town hall tapes. And that's their the thing they have to do as radio stations.
Yeah.
So I did that for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, had my own key to the building. Woo.
Wow, man.
Yeah. So I was like pretty happy,
Yeah.
except not making any money, but that's okay. I was getting experience.
Yeah.
So one day I get a call about a Tuesday night about 7 o'clock. It's Saul Levine. He calls me and says, Bob Gresham, who was the midnight jock, fell off a roof and he hurt himself. He's in the hospital. Can you take his place? I almost jumped out of my skin to say, yes, 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 except I just said, of course. So that night, and I remember my mom and my sister and I were just sitting there watching TV, and the phone rings. Hello. Okay, so I got to go. 11 o'clock or 10:30, got to go to the station. So I get in there. It's 12 o'clock. I'm on the air. Hello. What is it? 85 degrees outside. Bobby Rodriguez on the inside. That's right. That's the era of Rick Holmes. That's when Charlie Niles was. I don't even, I guess he was there, but he was
Yeah.
Jammin' Jay Rich back in the day. These were all characters, man.
Yeah.
Rick Holmes character. Anyway, I did my stint for about a year.
Huh.
And I interviewed like Don Ellis and I don't know who else, some other people. And I said, hey, I invite them to me.
Yeah.
So as opposed to me begging to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it worked really well. I loved what I was doing. I loved the microphone. And we were up on the 9th floor of this big building. And I had a tremendous view. I was like, a rich kid from East LA with a view. Oh boy, how good can it be? Until one day, Saturday, I went to the movies and I went to go see the movie Patton with
George
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Army movie. And
Yeah.
I got home. My dad says, there's a letter for you. Oh, big manila envelope. What's this? Greetings. You need to go to the Army call to be inspected.
Oh.
So I got drafted.
Oh.
So I had to leave. So when I came back, okay, here's reality. When I came back, I talked to the boss and I said, okay, I'm back. 3 years later, I'm back. And well, what's supposed to happen? You're supposed to get where you left off. Well, Bobby, if we need you, we'll give you a call. Everything's pretty busy right now, but thank you very much. And really? And this is real life.
Yeah.
So I did actually go back to work. Then it was KKGO,
Yeah.
and uh, and I still liked it, but I didn't like how I was treated,
Yeah.
and I thought it was very unfair.
Yeah.
But the only Latino jock before me was Richard Leos.
Huh.
Richard Leos was a Latin jock on KBCA, and Jose Rizo was
Yeah.
way later.
Yeah.
And, so that's the way that evolves. But it's very
Oh.
interesting that when you're young, you think your life will go step one, step two, step three, step four, and then you'll get to the candy nougat inside the candy bar. But it's
Hey, let's play a little music.
oh yeah, please, great.
Yeah, and so I am looking for more. Yeah.
Okay, what about Bobby Rodriguez, Yvonne,
Okay. Let's
or
see.
Dr. Bobby Rodriguez, Yvonne? Yeah,
Well, let's see. So, Dr. Bobby Rodriguez, and then
just
is it
Yvonne.
YV?
Yvonne. Thank you. There she is. I wanted to write a song for my wife.
Oh, she
Came up with this song.
is that her?
That's her. That's her. She's a young woman,
Beautiful.
and this is a song about her life.
Is it?
Well, it's a production about her life.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Thank you. That's for my baby. I can't hear you. There you
Thank you.
go.
Thank you for reminding me. Um, yeah, that was really a beautiful tribute. And my friend Roland Askerun said he was welling up.
I
Yeah.
do too. You know what? Not enough people understand the importance of your partner. They just don't get it. I have been married twice. The first time it was love at first sight, but it was not a good mix. Of course, it gave me my little Robin star, and that, of course, I'll always be grateful for.
Yeah.
But with Yvonne, it's changed my whole world. It's taken me out of an East LA mentality and put me into the big time. Mature, involved, paying attention, ready with skills to move forward, to move on, and together. And she understands the business because before me, she was in the business a lot at a lot of different wonderful levels. So having a partner who understands the importance of making records, of recording, the process of emotional, um, musical attitudes or situations. It's important to have a partner who's understanding of these kinds of things, the ups and downs. And even today, this morning, she said, I really like to see you happy, and you're very happy because you're putting together your studio and you're moving forward in some regard. And she says, that's it's nice to see you happy. And so that's what a good relationship is all about. Me trying to please her trying to please me, and we just do it because we care about each other and want to see each other happy. That's why that I wanted to make that video for her.
Lovely. Really beautiful. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I like you. Two marriages. First marriage, love at first sight, got married in a month. And we had a good marriage for a long time, but the best part was the communication, and Gus was an artist. And so all of that was good. And then, the last 4 years were a little questionable. And then I was single for a minute. And then I met my husband, Gary, who was very different from the kind of people I would be dating. He was in the business. He was a lighting board operator on the Tonight Show, but
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't kind of the artist. He was very stable, very balanced, had a
Not
really
the movie
strong,
artist type.
yeah, and had a very strong family life. And
Beautiful.
one of the first questions I asked him was, "Do you have a job?"
Well, that's important.
Well, yeah, for me, because the two men before, really, I was creating everything, and I was tired of having it only land on me. And also, when I would try and create something for Gus, for instance, he would screw it up because he really didn't want it. So I would actually have a loss. So it wasn't just that I was supporting everything, I was also having losses.
Yeah.
So that finally got to me. And I just needed somebody who would be, as you say, a partner, who was also doing what they do, and successful in their own
That's right.
production of it. And I was successful in my own production of my stuff. So we've had a really good relationship. Now it's equal time. I don't know how long your years were, but 17 years in the beginning, and now 19 years now for the second marriage.
We're going on 30.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're going on 30 years now. And
uh,
it's not easy. I mean,
yeah,
to be totally and completely honest.
yeah,
And every day, Max Herman from the Union,
yeah.
that guy told me a secret. He said, "You know what the secret of love is?" Wow. What? He said, "You got to treat it like it's the first date every day."
Yeah.
Okay. Max was a very interesting person. Very interesting person. Anyway, I've never stopped thinking that, and it's nice to be nice. It doesn't cost anything to be nice, you
Yeah.
know. It's so I think it's very important that young people know that there's more to life than sex. Did I say that?
Yeah. I was going, what?
Did I actually say that? Okay. Well, at this age, fond memories are wonderful things, but it's about now. It's about leaving something for my children
Yeah.
and my grandchildren. And my father, God rest his soul, I loved him so much, and he died so young. He was very macho and sick, diabetes and things. And I remember I went to go visit him, literally on his deathbed, and he said, "I don't want to die. I've got so many things to do." And I was about 25 or 26, something 7, 28, something like that. And I said, "What else do you want to do? You're laying in bed. What can you do?" I thought to myself. And so I've had my own recent medical issues,
Yeah.
and I wake up every day thinking there's so much to do. I got to do these things. I got to make this happen, man. I got to move forward. Got to get this thing. That's why, there's my baby.
Yeah. That's the new one.
It's my new one. And basic tracks were recorded before the operation, and all the top end, usually most of it, was recorded or finished after the operation. Okay, what's the operation? I don't care. I don't. It doesn't matter to me if people know or don't know.
Yeah.
So what? Everybody goes through things. You have parents and grandparents, and children have things.
Yeah.
I had open heart surgery
Uh-huh.
to repair the aortic valve, which was crumbling, and it was a problem from birth, not any
Huh.
outside influence.
Yeah.
So I got the scar right there, because you can't have open heart surgery without the scar. So
Yeah, I
when
know
you
it's quite dramatic, isn't it?
know that that's for real.
Yeah.
Anyway, so took care of that. Also had a prostate operation,
Hmm.
not cancer. No, no, no. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Just had to take care of that business, and
Yep.
it lasted about 3 months.
Yeah.
We had to take care of that, and slowly, I'm now today. Let's say even today, I still feel I got to get up a little slower. I got
Hmm.
to move a little slower, but I can think and I can play. And as soon as I was able to practice my horn, which they said was going to be 6 weeks, and I said no, 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 no. 3 weeks. I was blowing my horn, because they think, I don't know what they think, doctors, but you let this thing go for six weeks, you might never find it again.
Yeah.
So I was already just blowing little soft notes 3 weeks in, and I practiced this morning. I mean, that's what I do. I practice from 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
I have literally have my Cheerios and bananas, and my day's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's a routine, and it's
Yeah.
something that I've never had, but I realize that it's about time. I start with something good, do the right things, be with my wife, help out. We've got a beautiful home here. We've both worked really hard to get it together, and I want to keep it that way. So
Yeah.
I don't want to travel, uh, unless it's a
Yeah.
one nighter, get in, get out. That's it, and fine. Now I've got a studio. I've done 2 projects already,
Oh,
where they send me the tracks, I do what I do, and then send them back. I love that, man. It's great.
I
It's
know.
easy. It's wonderful. I'm all set up. Let's get it done.
Yeah. I want to get into my garage band more. I've dabbled in it, and I've been in the studio so much, you know, looking at the board and watching the engineers. So it's very as you said before, it's very similar. It's the similar actions, you know.
I started to work in GarageBand a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe 7, 8 years ago, and
Hmm.
then I sort of let it go
Yeah.
because you gotta have the right mindset.
Yes, you do.
And so now with this pandemic, um, I've always said the same thing to my students and to myself. When this is over, you got to be better than you were before.
Yeah.
You got to be hot coming out the gate right
Yeah.
away,
Yeah. That's
and
true.
that means everything. Performance, uh, everything has to be better
Yeah.
because that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So I started messing around with this little program that one of my students mentioned, and I have a very good friend. His name is Jose Carrillo, and he's the engineer on my last 3 or 4 records, and he's a genius about all that stuff, videos, all of these things. He's the one that uh, produced that video we just saw. He put it all together. I gave him the information, and then we put it together, together,
It
together.
made sense to me.
Yeah. After I said it, I wasn't sure what I said. Anyway, it's exciting, and so now I'm actually manipulating the track and moving the 2 track out and putting in the whatever little thing I'm doing,
Yeah.
and I did 2 little projects already, and I sort of love it. It's not like I want to be an engineer anymore because if I want to get serious, Jose will take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let him take care of it. He's fast and he's lightning, but it's fun to be able to manipulate
Yeah.
the programs, the apps, whatever it is that you're working with. So I love it.
Yeah. I agree. I've been having, even just this show has gone through, you know, in the beginning, Judy Carmichael was laughing because I've been posting my archives. And she and I, what did she say? I can't remember what she said. It was just, you know, anyway, I was using an iPad, like you would have been on the iPad in FaceTime. And then I was live on Facebook, Then I got the Zoom together, and then somebody said, restream so you can Zoom and Facebook Live and YouTube Live at the same time, and even Twitter. So that's gone and gone. And then last week, I was talking to Vince Mendoza, and he suggested loop back, which I'm trying to understand. I think it's all the sound that you want to play on this show. For instance, you can just channel into one channel, and the sound is better, and you don't have to manipulate around a lot. But there's a learning curve. So
Mm-hmm.
that, and then the
You know what
garage
helps that?
band, I got to
What
get
helps
in
that
there.
cough a lot? Tequila. 2 shots of tequila, you're gonna stop.
Oh, yeah.
It'll just burn it
Tequila.
right through.
Yeah.
Kathy, what you're doing is fabulous. When I first was aware of what we were doing, uh, I thought it was great, and not enough of us ever reach out to each other and say that was great. But
Thanks.
you are, and your energy is boundless. You're just always moving around, doing things, and that's very admirable because so many people are sitting on the couch eating cookies, waiting for someone to call them. But we know that nothing is going to happen except weight gain if you're sitting around eating cookies all day. And I admire you very much for what you do and how you do it and consistently do it. I
Thank
thank you.
you. Thanks. Well, that's, I mean, back at you, because that's what you do too. And that's something that I've always seen since I've known you. And it's great. You're very admirable, and you are an opinion leader. And so it's wonderful, and just by doing what you do, that you're inspirational to people. So I think it's great.
I think that's important. I think it's important to let people follow your lead. That's why it's so disgusting when you find a major figure doing stupid things because young people are going to copy them
Yeah.
because they don't know. Young
Yeah.
people don't know. I mean, you're just following something, some image of something.
Yeah.
It's important that you try and do the right things with the right attitude.
Intention.
Yeah, you got to do the right things and be able to speak in a way that's interesting and clear to someone other than yourself, so you can express the professional attitude. I
Yeah.
think that's very important, and that's what I maintain all the time.
Yeah. Were there musical mentors, whether you knew them or not, along with all this, not just the music? Maybe you were a person who, like me, I always tell the story of when I first heard the Modern Jazz Quartet, and I was right in front of them. It was in Boston at a club, and I was so struck not only by the quality of the music, but by the way they carried themselves.
Yeah,
It had so much kind of respect and honor, kind of, you know.
yeah.
So, did you have people like that?
No,
Oh.
I guess you go to the lighthouse, and of course, the lighthouse was always a place of maybe
Yeah.
you run into one of the guys out in the back alley, and then Shelley's manhole.
Yep.
You would hope to run into someone out in the back alley, and
That was the same as Dante's too. The back alley.
Catalina's, yeah,
Oh,
Catalina. I mean, not Catalina's. I'm sorry. Um, Shelley's manhole.
yeah.
Yeah, you hope to run into someone out in the back alley. Dante's. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
Dante's was good. A lot of wildness going on back in the 70s and 80s. That's
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it was going on. But I think Wynton Marsalis has been very good in terms of his astute ability to talk about jazz, look like a professional jazz man, and of course, perform like one.
Yeah.
He's magnificent. I don't agree with everything he says
Yeah.
or how he says it, but that's my opinion. He's got his, I've got mine. So, though I have been, not because of him, but simply because I've been a little ignorant in regard to Louis Armstrong. So I've been doing a lot of study. I bought my second book of Louis, but not about him, by him.
Oh.
Hey, I don't know if you've ever read anything that he has
No,
written,
I don't think I have.
but you should look up, that. And the way he writes is the way he talks. And it's so hip to you can hear him speak while you're reading his stories.
Uh,
It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. He's
oh.
that man, and he was the most impoverished child on earth,
Yeah.
and what he eventually came to be without the ego, because he always remembered where he came from and how poor he was. Of course, when you're poor, you don't really know you're poor as long as you can have a little love by your parents or sister or brother, in that neighborhood somewhere. And as long as you're sort of comforted some way, you don't know what poverty is until the extreme.
Yeah.
I grew up lower, lower. Okay, 20 steps down above middle class. We never were hungry, but we didn't eat burgers every day. Uh, we had tuna. What did she call it? Some kind of tuna in a with
A casserole.
no, heck no, not a casserole.
Oh.
Tuna. I don't know what it was called, but a tuna thing. And I always liked it. I liked it. Put some toast on it. Sop it up with a toast, and it was great. Lots of Mexican food. My brother Ronnie, he was about 13 years old. He's older than me. He was 10 years older than me. And he says, one night, this is a story I heard. One night at the dinner table, when people used to eat dinner together,
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, I know. You know what? I know why we're Mexican." And they said, "Why?" And here comes the out of mouths of babes. because we eat beans. So whatever happens in your life as a child, you sort of take with you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let me show you this.
Children are very resilient.
Look at this. See this?
Yeah.
Look at that car.
Yeah.
Look at that woman. That's my mother.
Oh, wow.
She's 16 years old. She was born in 1913, and that's 16 years later in her
Huh.
car. My mother was always a renegade, and very much a I guess a woman's lib. She was
Uh-huh.
very. Uh, why am I not making the same money as him?
Yeah.
Doing the same job. What's wrong
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah.
I was raised by my grandmother, my mom's mom, my mother, and my sister. I had no chance at all, except, except to respect women
Yeah.
because I saw everything they did,
Yeah.
and they were cool. I mean, they did everything appropriately, and it's no wonder. I mean, I don't understand how kids can be raised by their mother and then disrespect them when they're 14 and 15.
Yeah.
It's the mother who shows you everything.
Yeah.
A mom shows you kindness, gentleness, sweetness, if you have a mom who
Yeah.
has those qualities. But I mean, I didn't know any different because my mom was like that, except she didn't like animals. She didn't like animals. No dogs, no cats, no, and no chickens. No.
Oh.
Matter of fact, she didn't even eat chicken. You know why? Because in my neighborhood in East LA, and back in the rancho where she grew up in El Paso, of course, they would finally catch the chicken, whack, and that was dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so otherwise you get the chicken and you grab it and
Yeah.
yeah, and
That's really,
I
that's
mean
hard to,
it gets down into the real deal of life, and living on the farm or
yeah.
the farm environment.
Yeah.
So things happen, and so we grow up, and I'm a city boy. I live now in the country, and we love it. It's not that country.
Yeah.
There's a lot of country around us, and
I've been reading Michelle Obama's book, and she really grew up in a very poor situation, but her parents were really straight ahead and cool. And she and her brother, they all lived in, maybe they all of them, the bedrooms, the kitchen, everything was about 500 square feet, and yeah, I mean, and then she went on to go to Princeton and Harvard. Wow.
yeah.
I mean, and then she was, the first lady. I mean, can you imagine a kid growing up in a poor environment and really loving, uh,
Politics is a whole other thing. Last night we saw a movie, and the guy says to one guy says to another, "I'm a politician. That means I'm a liar and a cheat." And then it goes on. So I don't disagree with it, unfortunately, because it's rough business up in that neighborhood.
yeah.
The political environment it's rough business.
Hey, I want to hear a little more music because,
Okay,
I just do.
do you want to hear just music or
Oh,
or
like your new record or something?
yeah?
Or
Would you
yeah,
mind?
not at all. Love to hear it.
Well, it's there somewhere. Oh, just Bobby Rodriguez. Yeah, and then put in Freedom.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So there it is.
I have this record, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm trying not to hide it.
Okay, now it probably starts with the first song.
Yeah, but
Let's
I
see
don't
if I
want to hear
can.
the first one. But although I like it.
Yeah.
The second
Is it
song.
just under freedom? I mean, do I have to? Let's see. Maybe I'm not sure. Something.
Yeah, go ahead right there.
Is that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I'll just back up a little. Yeah.
Yeah, back up a little bit. Yeah, that's good. A little bit.
Okay.
Joey Rotundi on piano. Arron on drums. This is Little Henry.
Okay.
That's me when I was 7. Life is cruel. Oh, that's right. It's only 2 minutes of each song.
Okay. Well, that's nice. We can play a little bit of each.
Hey, this is Mia's Lullaby.
Okay.
My granddaughter. Karen Hammock on piano.
The great Karen Hammock.
Yes. Thank you, Cathy.
You want me to stop?
Never.
Okay.
And of course, I had to bring in this. Merengue. Sal Atkins on bass. I like the spirit of life.
Yeah, this is really great. I like how you guys have done this, as far as,
Yeah,
a
two
little
minutes each.
taste. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. Well, that's the way you throw it out, and I mean, you have to let it out some way, and of
Yeah.
course, YouTube is the way. I ask my kids, how do you know what's new, and they go YouTube. I mean, they I don't know how they hear about somebody, but YouTube.
YouTube, Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean that's the way you hear it. It's very sad what's happened to the jazz station here in Los Angeles, where they don't play any big artists from L.A.
You know what?
It astounds me.
Don't get me started. A bunch of years ago, right before they had a big switch over, I was talking to them about, come on. I mean, give us an hour. I mean, I'll help you or not, whatever, but give the local artists an hour. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they were talking about it, but then there was some kind of big switch over in management, and that went down the tubes. But I don't agree with that. It's like, come on, man. LA has a richness of
I don't understand
artists,
because a lot of the programs, they focus on certain kinds of music,
Yeah.
except they don't focus on the artists from here.
Yeah.
Artists from New York, big deal. We got artists here. It
Huh?
doesn't make a difference.
Fantastic.
New
Yeah.
York is not the Mecca. It's
Right.
over. It's done. Adios. It's wherever you are on earth. I realize with my setup here, I can go anywhere on earth as long as there's an internet connection
Yeah.
to my recordings.
Yeah.
And you can send them to me and I can do my thing and send them back to you. I mean, anywhere on earth, but my heart will always be here in Los Angeles because this is where I'm from.
Yeah.
I've never lived anywhere else except in Germany for 2 years and Richmond, Virginia, a
Yeah.
year when I was in the service.
Hmm.
But other than that, I've lived in Los Angeles, Southern California my whole life. And are you kidding to leave paradise? Are you nuts? There are 50 billion Mexican Americans here in Southern California. If I can't make it here, who the heck? What am I going to do? Are you kidding? Come on. Like I
Hey,
say,
your
started.
your CD is available on your website?
Yes, of course. Sure. It is.
Okay. And I was curious, there were a number of things that, like you are a member of the board of governors on NARIS, and you're
Yes,
the
I was.
director of Latin jazz music. Oh, well, that's at UCLA. Yeah.
I
And,
was.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Also, you're an author?
Yeah. Where's my book? Oh, well, it's not here. But I've written 2 books.
Uh-huh.
ABCs of Latin Jazz. So it's all about Latin jazz stuff, starting with, don't get me started, clave. Clave first, and then it goes into everything, how every instrument is developed around the clave concept.
Uh-huh.
So I took 5 years and I wrote that book because I was saying the same thing all the time to the students.
Yeah.
I figured, why am I talking about that? Why don't I just write it down? Okay, so I did that. It was great. We sold a lot of copies, and people are still very interested in it. Great. Then I decided I'm saying the same thing about trumpet. So why don't I write a brass warm-up book? So it's ABCs of brass warm-up. And so that's another book. It's about me,
Mm-hmm.
my efforts to improve myself and how I did that. Starting, with my couple of teachers, Don Ferrara, and of course, the master Yuan Racy, and then, and the other people I've met along the way, and the consistency. I mean, that's really what it's all about. But you have to have someone to tell you, do this, don't do that, try that, see how it feels. And Yuan Racy is my mentor on that. And every time I pull out my horn, I think of him and I think about the lessons that he showed me and the love he showed me to put into that instrument. So it's a loving, literally because of the air breathing thing, and that's how I approach the trumpet. So that's two. The third book is halfway finished, and maybe it'll come out posthumously. I don't know, but it's the improv book, ABCs of Jazz Improv, and then it talks about blues scale modes and how to improvise. See, the problem with that book is that you really can't show someone how to improvise. The problem is it has to come from you. You have to hear it by somebody else, and then you try and emulate it because you like it. Get me on that gig. So that's been a problem. So I've actually had to like really think, scratch my brain to figure out, well, how did I start? How do you learn the changes? How do you learn the transitions? And of course, it's always dependent on the five chord. That's your big. I think that's the jazz chord, the five chord, moving to wherever you're going. So that's another book I'd like to finish, and I also have a children's book that I want to finish, and it's my East LA story. It's my, I was born in East LA, down on the corner of Bonnie Beach and Hubbard. It's a story of my life, and I want to put it into a children's book. I've learned that because you have something, it doesn't mean that you're going to sell it or make any money from it. So it's always a matter of trying to understand the process of making it happen, developing the idea, and then promoting it, because that takes time and effort and
Sure
money
does.
a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, those are two books that are yet to be completed. But yes, I'm an author. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, I do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Got to do it. Got to do it.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah, I read a book. I read Elizabeth Gilbert. She's the one who wrote Eat, Pray, and Love.
Oh yeah,
And she wrote a book called Big Magic, which is it's a nice book to refer students to because it's she's a person who had great success with Eat, Pray, and Love. There was a movie with Julia Roberts, and she
yeah,
had the best-selling book. And then afterwards, she wanted to continue being creative, and she found a lot of pushback and challenges. People saying, "Well, what are you going to do now? How can you, how can you,
yeah. You got
rise to a height?" Yeah. So anyway, this book basically gives you permission to be creative. But she said the coolest thing, which I definitely retained, which was that creativity is curiosity. So when you're curious about something, that is creativity. And I just love that. It's so simple and direct. And who's not curious? Nobody. And that is creativity. So yeah, I think
your
it's
fire, and however it gets lit. Everybody's a little different,
yeah.
but there's a lot of similarities in all of us,
Hmm.
regardless of where we're from or what language we speak. And it's we just have to continue pushing ourselves to seek more knowledge, whatever that means. However you can get it. I mean, I was born with very little in terms of being guided towards the trough of education. Nobody in my family went to school. I never heard about college too much. It didn't interest me. Maybe they talked about it, but I didn't care. But I certainly know now that education makes a difference. And it makes a difference in the human condition, the spirit, the investigation process,
Mm.
development of stick to itiveness. I mean, these are very important lifelong lessons you learn in school if you don't fool around. If you don't have too much of a party, because that's what Hey, let's go to UCLA and party, man. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no, no. Go stay in the practice room and practice your instrument, man. Do what you're supposed to.
Right. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
the right things, and
Yeah.
stick to it.
The program that you have put forth for years that includes Karen Hammock.
She
Um,
was part of it for many years. I'd say maybe 15 years. She's
she's
not
such
part
a
of it anymore.
great player.
Oh, I love Karen.
Yeah.
We've done two songs together, and they're both, to me, some of my best work and classics.
Mm,
And because Karen was in my group called the Jazz Adventure,
yeah.
which I took over from Paulo Nones,
Hmm.
very good drummer here in Los Angeles for many years. Then he left town and he left me the band.
Uh-huh.
So then I continued it with that.
Yeah.
We were booked through the Music Center of LA,
Uh-huh.
educational arm. And
Yeah.
about 7 or 8 years ago, I changed the name to Jazz It Up.
Oh,
And so, because that saying seems to encapsulate the stuff I do.
yeah.
Let's jazz it up. Let's
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
it hotter. Let's
Yeah.
let's make it interesting. So Karen was in my band for about, I'd say, maybe 15 years. Man, we did a lot of schools together.
Yeah.
A lot of high school, grammar schools, elementary schools. A lot of them. And then she got the job at
Am I?
MI, Musicians
Yeah.
Institute, and then she got busy.
Yeah.
So I had to say goodbye. And then she brought me Jack LeCompte.
Oh,
And Jack LeCompte was in the band until he passed away.
yeah.
I remember we were at Belvedere Junior High School, and he says, "Bobby, got to tell you something. I've got cancer, and I don't know how long I can stay with the group." I said, "Well, stay with the group as long as you can because I want you here."
Yeah.
That was a very lovely, lovely person.
Beautiful.
So um, then it transitioned over to, hey, co-producer, say hello. Say hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Good. So nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yvonne,
The world.
Hi, Cathy.
makes a
Hi.
big difference when you have the right partner.
Yes, it does.
But Karen and I used to play a little bit before the shows, just her and me. And we had this little feeling together. She would just play a beautiful Karen chord.
Hmm.
And I don't know what it was. I don't, sometimes it's better not to know, just to react.
Yeah.
We would play this little thing and mood, and it would be so beautiful. Man, it was great. I don't know if you want to play 1 minute of it.
Yeah.
It's called September Mood,
Okay.
and it's beautiful. It's just flugelhorn and Karen. Karen playing all the other keyboards. Oh, we have Alex Acuna as well in the percussion. That's right. But it's I don't know. Is it Bobby Rodriguez?
Well, I'll show you what I have. It
Okay.
looks like there might be two of them or, oh
Yeah.
no, just
First
this
one
one,
on
right?
First one on top. Yep.
Okay.
I love that. I love that thing.
Whoops.
Hey,
Some person talking. Okay, we don't need him.
There we go.
He's an ad.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is so pretty. Wow, it's really definitely a moody
Well,
piece, isn't it?
yeah, thank you. Thank you. The reason I named it that was because of 9/11 and September, of course.
Yeah.
And it always reminded me of the moment, like after you have an accident where everything goes really fast, and then you see the car coming at you, or you're falling or something. It just
Yeah.
reminded me of that moment when you're caught in the middle of a movement, and I wanted it to be calm,
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So I played this song when I was in the doctorate program over at UCLA, and
Uh-huh.
the kids, because I'm 55, 60 something, 55 at that time, and these are kids all 20, 22, 3 years old, and so they heard the music, and the point of the uh, exercise was through composed. So through composed means it never returns to a melody that you've already heard. And of course, a jazz song that's completely improv without any, AABA form or any form, that's through composed. That song is a classical version or a classical process of through composed.
Right.
So we played the song, and the kids all, they're like, okay, sounds pretty good. And then we go on to something else, and the teacher goes to something else and asks something else, and one of the kids says, one of the smart wise guys says, "Can we go back and listen to Bobby's song again? That was so nice." Anyway, that song we worked together. We co-composed with Karen Hammock.
I just want to share with you for a second, Bobby, if you don't mind, a little bit of a song that just to show Karen's versatility, because
Ah,
she is super versatile. And I just want to show you play a little bit of a song on one of my records where I recorded with 10 different piano players. And this, to me, is one of her highlight genres.
beautiful.
The place where I live is a quiet haven, quiet and dark, in a room full of light. The air is as clear as an open meadow, and that's where I hear your voice calling out love. My heart calls your name with a fervent whisper, searching the land for the thought of your face. My hands reach the ends of the room in a dither, for you are now gone, and this time in this place. For you are now gone, and my heart has an aching. You are not here, and I cry for your touch. I know I can feel you near me in spirit, but I miss you, my darling. I miss you so. Yeah, so not only is she a mofo jazz player, right?
Yes, she is.
But she also she comes from a lot of different places. She's really a fantastic.
Well, first of all, That's a beautiful song,
Thank you.
and you did a beautiful job. And Karen Hammock is an absolute beautiful touch. I'm sort of sad that she's locked away in an institution of teaching because I'd like to have her out here,
Yeah.
but since nobody's out here, I'm hoping to be back with her again someday soon.
Yeah. Have you heard her new record?
No, I have not.
It's really, really beautiful. It's got a lot of different things, just some real stunning stuff.
Beautiful.
No, but you have a beautiful voice, and you brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks. Yeah, I've
There
written
was something missing though.
trumpet.
Sweet flugelhorn.
Do you know, actually, that the ones with Karen, I played two with Karen, and Calabria Foti played violin on them as well.
It was a
And
good
it was
touch.
really beautiful. But do you know, when I was at Berkeley, when I was very young, and I was there for arranging and composition, you know how they give you a two-horn chart assignment, and instead of having trumpet and sax, I had flugel and trombone. Because flugel, and I love your sound on flugel, by the way. It's just really beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. I work on it. I mean, I
I'm sure you do.
work on it. It's of course nobody just comes out like I tell all the students. Hey, those guys did not come out playing like that when they
Yeah,
were 3 years old.
right.
Okay, maybe Mozart, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Freddie Hubbard. That's it. Okay, maybe Miles, but that's it. Nobody else. The rest of us have to work at it.
Yeah. Well, it's coming actually close to 2 hour mark. Would you like to tell the people listening anything particular?
Yeah, buy my music.
Okay.
Hey, I got my phone, and yesterday I got an email from CD Baby, and they said, "You got money. You're gonna get paid." And I'm looking, I'm scrolling, and it says $9.98. I showed my wife, see, music pays.
Well, I especially CD Baby. I'm not even sure. I guess they sell now just to stores, because their store closed. So as an individual, I can't go to CD Baby and buy your stuff. You know that, right?
No, I don't know that.
Well,
I
you
know
should
I'm on all
just,
the other mediums.
if you have any printed links on your pages, your website or something that says to go to CD Baby,
Oh,
you might want to change that, because about a year ago, without really announcing it to anyone, they stopped their store. But they still sell to, I guess, record stores, but not to the individual.
okay. Now, where would one find a record store?
I don't know.
His warehouse closed. Tower, forget it. I mean, it is so terrible that the
Also, I'm sorry, but you will want to know this. Roland want is trying to buy your CD on your website, but your website sent him to PayPal without him being able to choose the CD.
oh,
So
interesting.
you might want to
Email
know
me.
that.
Email me LatinJazz at earthlink.net.
Okay, Roland, did you hear that? Latin Jazz at earthlink.net.
Earthlink.net.
Right. Okay.
And
Yeah.
okay, well, I'm sorry about the website, which is having all kinds of issues, but that's why we hold on to the Earthlink email
Yeah.
because of the Latin jazz part.
Uh-huh.
Who knows? We might have to change that too.
I've had Earthlink since 25 years or something.
Yeah.
But I have the Cathy at CathySegal-Garcia.com, so for my domain, but I also have my original jazz singing at earthlink.net. Why not? Earthlink works. It's great.
It's been good to us, and we've had a long time. I've got no complaints about anything except musicians who think they know it all because nobody knows it all. John Coltrane didn't know it all. Charlie Parker didn't know it all. He had personal issues he shouldn't have had. He could still be alive today. Freddie Hubbard didn't know it all, but Lord knows could he play it all. But these great musicians, I feel so bad that so many of them left us so early because they could have given so much to the younger musician, to the artist, talk about just their lives and the books that they could have written, because that's where we're so far behind other genres of music. The jazz idiom is empty in terms of books. Sure, there's one about Wayne Shorter, the other's one about two or three about Miles, seven or eight about Lewis. But I mean, everybody has a story. We need to know the Cathy Segal-Garcia story. I've got mine right there. It's ready to go. But I'm not sure how I'm going to market it. What am I going to do? I don't know. I don't know. But it's ready. And I even edited it down so it doesn't have all the sex, drugs, and rock and roll issues. Because, hey, I'm a teacher.
Yeah, well, people should, in our position, should really know and look for and learn about marketing, because there's just a lot of perspectives that might be right in front of our faces that we just haven't considered. So marketing is really,
I agree with you, Cathy. And, I'll call you when we get off the air so you can help me.
well, I keep learning too. I keep, anytime something with marketing and brand, I mean, I have a good idea of branding and marketing. You do too. But, you know, I feel like there's ways, especially now, I think that ways are going to be, originating and expanding, right? And so that we can move into possibly even a better way of selling what we do.
I hope so, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
But the music is a very small commodity in the major music business. I tell every student, go see a Grammy show. Go to the Grammys and spend the whole day at Staples Centers when it's there at Staples Center,
Yeah.
and see the pre-show, see the air show, see the everything, and understand the jazz portion. It's like, no, it's gone. But just to be aware of the enormity,
Yeah.
how many drum sets they have to put on that stage at the same time. It's
There's a
incredible.
lot. There's a lot in the planning. A
There's a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be able to have been here with you, and for the fans out there. I mean, I just want to, if there's a closing comment, if
Yeah.
you would please allow me to.
Sure.
I I feel better than ever. I feel stronger than ever. I'm smarter than ever. That doesn't mean I'm smart. I'm smarter than I was. That's all I mean. And
Yeah.
hopefully, I'm a little more sensitive in my music and my playing, and I want to help, because that's the number one thing I think human beings need to do. Certainly, that's what I need to do to make me feel better. At my age, I'm 70 years old. It's time not to give a damn
Yeah.
about anything, what you think, what anybody thinks. It's about what I think. It's
Hmm.
about how I perceive myself with my skills, putting them out into the marketplace. And if you like me, join me. If you don't, then get out of my way, because I'm not stopping for anybody. I'm going straight ahead. Adelante. Straight ahead.
And I have regards to you from Karen Valanda and Jackie Gibson.
Hey, my girls. Okay, sorry, honey. I mean,
Your secondary girls. Yeah.
the other girls.
Yeah.
Oh, they're good.
Not
Jackie,
worry.
you say Jackie Gibson, right?
Yes.
Jackie Gibson's mother was my father's doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
She told me a long time ago that she was going to put something together about her mother. And so I'm just waiting and waiting because the story was so wonderful.
And the story is, her mother couldn't get a job because she was a woman.
Yeah.
None of the other doctors would let her, be part of the practice. So hell with it. She started her own practice.
Hmm.
Sounds like my life.
Exactly. Hey, I do want to, before you leave, want to say tomorrow I'm having a drummer on he's an LA drummer, but he's played with so many varied people. Chris Wabich, really great drummer, great, very creative person. And then the next 4 days after that, I'll be posting from my archives, Cathy Cousin, a great singer from Chicago, Anthony Wilson, of course, the great guitarist, composer, etc. Roseanne Eckert from Texas, who's like an impeccable, great jazz singer and teacher. And then Sunday, friends of mine from Brighton, England, a singer named Sarah Oshlag and a bass player, Dan Shepard. And we're going to keep going. I have a lot of amazing guests coming up. So next week, Billy Halting, percussionist, Marianne Sullivan, a singer, and Armando Campion, bass player and singer. So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, and Dr. Bobby Rodriguez. This was really fun. Had a great time. I enjoyed meeting your lovely partner, Yvonne.
All the difference in the world. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, I took off my glasses so you could see my entire face, but I can't see you.
Well, I'm the same. Now that I'm a little older, these glasses are pretty necessary.
Oh, you look good. Okay.
Well, I did notice that we have kind of very similar glasses, like around the edge, not too dark around the edge, right?
Thank you very much, Cathy, and I'm sure all the musicians who you interviewed, the 3,000 of them, appreciate your time and effort, and I certainly do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bobby. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one. See you.